Coach, we're going to give us a couple opening thoughts, and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah, just proud of the guys and the effort and the toughness that they showed this evening. Especially after the game we had on Saturday. These two guys right here sitting here, really proud of them because I challenged both of them this morning. I've been challenging him for a couple of days, but I've challenged Lance. And, they both answered the bell. This is about as good a win as I've had since I've been here at Georgia Tech, based on, the performance that we had on Saturday. And, the team is coming together, and it's weird because a lot of people in here haven't been around our team. But the people that have, I was saying it a long time ago, I felt like we could win with 5 guys, 6 guys. And, we've had injuries, but nobody on this team has wavered. Nobody has made that an excuse for what we can or can't do. So just proud of these guys, looking over the whole big picture of the game, even with Lowe. He had 25 points, he had 8 assists, but me as a former scorer myself, 25 points on 21 shots, we did what we needed to do to make him work in this game. And Leggett, he had 20, but I just think between the two of them, although they had 45 points, I don't think it was the impactful 45 points that they needed, or the dynamic 45, but we did a really good job. And you always try to trim points off the game, and so when I look at the stat sheet, because those two guys are the known, Graham and Austin, they're two guys that we talked about, and we wanted to make sure that we can kind of eliminate points. And between the two of those guys, they were 2 of 11 from the 3, and we did a good job. So just again, proud of these guys. It's not easy, and they've allowed me to coach them really hard, and we've come a long ways, this season, and we not done.
Let's go start with questions for the players so I can let them go shower. Kelly, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Lance, I know it's been a struggle since you hurt your hand or wrist or whatever it was, and just how did it feel to kind of get back into the groove a little bit, especially in the first half you had it going?
It feels good. I just have to continue to get my confidence back, just keep shooting. It feels good, so, that's the good thing about it, but, just keep playing hard.
Well, let me say this, he talked about his confidence. He played 40 minutes. He just got to shoot. Just got to shoot, man. Like, just got to shoot, baby. Just shoot it. Just shoot it. This guy right here, I'm jumping in because he brings more to the table than just scoring. Obviously, he's our leading scorer. He does a lot of things, but, the fact that he's playing and he's not 100%, that says a lot about who he is, and we know that. And so I'm going to acknowledge that every single time. Because you got a lot of kids today that they have a broken fingernail and they sit out. And this guy he hasn't done that. So I'm thankful to have guys like him on my squad.
Stay with the players.
Duncan, what got into you?
I was glad this game, but Coach Dane before the game, he told me don't get in my own head. Last night I was with Darian, son, and Nate Jordan Hotel. They was just telling me how good I am and how much they like playing with me. So they know I'm real hard on myself. So like my team just breathed confidence into me the whole time for real. So they told me to shoot. They get mad at me when I don't shoot it. So yeah, I get yelled at by Nate for not shooting it. So I don't want to get yelled at. So I shot it.
You gave it to the crowd at the end, too.
Yeah, because everywhere we go, they talk about my haircut and all that. So and I ain't had a haircut in like a month, so I look crazy. But yeah, so I like to interact with the crowd, especially on the road, because they troll me a lot, so I troll them back.
On those 4-point plays, was there ever a thought of putting the ball on the floor and like attacking the closeout, or were you just?
Nah, because my name's a shag man, but they also call me the corner man, because that's what I already see that for real. So, if I catch in the court, I'm going to shoot it every time, regardless.
Duncan, have you ever had multiple 4-point plays in a game in your career before?
Nah, I've only had one before, and that was at North Carolina A&T. I couldn't even really shoot then, so yeah, it's pretty crazy. I had 2 of them in the same spot, like within like 3-4 minutes of each other.
Lance, when Coach challenged you this morning, just What did you think about that challenge? And you had to sit on it all day and think about it.
You know, I love it. You know, I would rather have a coach that challenges me than not. So, you know, he challenged me on the defensive end. So, you know, just going out there and trying to do better than what I've been doing, and you know, give more effort than what I was. So.
Anything else for players? Let you guys go shower. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you mind. All right, questions for Coach?
Damon, they took the lead 59-58, tied it 67. You guys hung tough. I mean, that's got to make you probably more proud than anything. Yeah.
Man, yeah, we've we've gotten better in games down the stretch, and again, I'm gonna go back to, because this game was similar, but we won this game. That Notre Dame game that we lost at Notre Dame, that was for me, and looking at this group of guys, it was a turning point because we led that game for 38 minutes, and I never seen that much disappointment collectively by the group, you know, and ever since then, you know, they've been locked in even more, and you know, I was just really proud that we made a lot of plays down the stretch, and you know, we made free throws. You know, that was huge. I mean, we haven't been shooting great all season, but tonight 25 for 28. You know, that's about as good as it get, and you know, it's just a collective effort. You know, again, those two guys played really well. You know, Bai rebounded the ball really well. You know, Mustaf Sutton, they did good in their time out there. But I thought growth. You know, he won't get credit for this. But I thought Nate grew tonight from the standpoint of he didn't force things. He managed the game. He let the game come to him. He took shots that was there, and everybody else still ate. And I think that's a testament to him and his growth too.
How's Ibrahim? Obviously got banged up early, tried to go to start the second half, was limping, and then.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. But you know, as you know, this just, you know, it's a tough spot to put someone in, and you know, I've had a messed up, you know, leg before, and you know, I just didn't want to put him in that situation, and you know, but I think he'll be fine. I don't, you know, X-rays was good, they said, but I think he'll be fine, you know, moving forward. But, you know, it just kind of goes into, you know, what's been happening all year, you know. But we as a group, those guys, they found a way.
Have you won a game where you hit one field goal in the final 11 minutes of the game or something like that, and won, and it wasn't holding on, it was going back and forth with the free throws mostly, but that's really unusual stat.
Yeah, it is, but you know, I think that you know, both teams shot in the 20s, so it was a lot of attacking of the bucket, and you know, it happens that way, you know. But I didn't even really think about it. You know, you just honestly, you know, the biggest thing for me, especially when you playing a team like Pitt, you know, where they're perimeter oriented, they're just trying to make sure you're locked in and you got the matchups right and you're doing the right thing. So, you know, again, happy for these guys, man. It was about as big a win as I've been around since I've been here at Tech.
Damon, what you were saying, there were a lot of times Pitt would make a run, and then it would get to 4 or 3, and you guys would answer. Yeah. What allowed your guys to be able to make that type of play in those moments?
Well, you know, I think, you know, it's by failure because we didn't do it earlier in the year, and I think that we've gotten better, you know, over the course of this season. And I think that those guys, and honestly, I harp on it, you know, because to me, you know, you got to get your team to play hard, you know, be connected, do all those things, and then you got to get them to play smart. You know, you got to get them to play with toughness, and then you got to learn how to win, you know. And so there were plays that we made, you know, getting fouled and things of that nature where, honestly, we didn't do that earlier this season. You know, you see a lot of carryover. You've seen growth in guys as the season started. You know, Duncan didn't even play that much early in the season. You know, due to injuries, you were forced to play him, and so now he's able to find the rhythm and he's able to do different things. So there's just a lot that goes into it, and I think the confidence that these guys, shown down the stretch of this game is just, carryover for the things that they've been doing ever since we got back from Christmas.
Coach, you came into this game 4.5-point underdogs. How do you face adversity in the locker room and then onto the court, especially on the road?
Actually, it was 8.5. So it's funny you say that, right? And so most people, and I never in my life looked at point spreads until I worked for one of the Pittsburgh Panthers finest, and that was Coach Miller when I was in Arizona. So you tried to trim points off the game. And so that's kind of like what I see. So when I see, like, we've been 8.5, 9-point underdogs to most of the teams in the league at the top. So how do you trim points off the game? That's the first thing I do. So you got to trim 9 points. That's what I say. So it's 3-possession game. That's how I look at the game, 3-possession game. So how do I trim that? So now I'm looking at Graham, and now I'm looking at Austin, because Lagan and Lowe average 16, so that's what they get on a bad day, right? So you're trying to trim points off. Corn, he's about 10, okay? So he's a big, he's gonna catch a couple lives, he's gonna get some putbacks, might get a couple free throws, and you're trying to figure out how to trim points off the game. And Graham and Austin, that's what I did. So that wasn't your question, but since you said the point spread, I look at it because of things of that nature. I really do. But again, the guys, they just did a good job, collectively. It's not and I had never played Pitt. I've never been here before in my life. I played Pitt when I was in Arizona, but it was at our spot, and this is a great environment, great gym, nice facility. So, I'm just proud of the fellas for what they were able to come in here and do.
So the spread actually affects your mindset going into a game, or
It doesn't affect my mindset. It just, there's a perspective in seeing that, is more so what I'm saying. And so all it does for me is you're trying to think of how to trim points off the game anyway. That's all sports is. It's a deficit. So you're trying to figure out, who you can stop, who you can hold. And then, like I said, Graham, Austin, when you're looking at things like that, I'm just saying that's how I look at it. That for me is how I look at it. You got to trim those points off. So that's more so what I'm saying. That's all. It's not nothing more, nothing less. Just that's how I trim points off, because I do that as a coach anyway. I did it when I played, but I didn't look at it like that. As a coach, is first time I ever really thought about that. So.
When you watched them on tape, did you think they were 9 points better than you?
I didn't. I really didn't know. That sometimes I don't take that. I don't take that into consideration. But when you watch them, you're just trying to trim points off the game. That's really all. What I think about is, again, how can we trim points off the game and have guys that play roles and our stars in their role? How can we impact them from not being those players on that given day? And that's pretty much the same thing. No different than them with us. You know what I'm saying? And what BC did to us on Saturday, we had guys that didn't play as well as they usually play. So, BC probably does the same. Everybody has their own method to their madness, but that's just something that, I kind of internally just kind of think about and trying to trim points off the game.
Thanks, Coach.